Brazil's helicopter fleet is going through one of the most meaningful transformations of the past 2 decades, and the shift tells a much larger story about how the country understands power, security, and long-term national priorities. The decision to retire the Mi-35 attack helicopters and move toward a more sustainable and flexible structure built around the UH-60L Black Hawk and the H-145M is more than a procurement update. It is a strategic pivot shaped by Brazil's geography, its mission realities, and its vision of how a modern air force should operate as the country assumes greater responsibilities in Latin America. This transition has not sparked public controversy, nor has it generated the type of heated political debate often associated with high-profile defense acquisitions. Instead, it has been met with quiet acceptance, even confidence, because it aligns with how Brazilians see the role of their armed forces, protecting communities, supporting national development, and ensuring security in a vast and complex territory rather than projecting brute force abroad. The story begins with the Mi-35, a helicopter that symbolized raw power. When Brazil introduced the type, it was expected to offer heavy attack capability combined with robust transport capacity. On paper, it was impressive. In practice, the aircraft became increasingly difficult to sustain. Parts availability was limited, maintenance costs were high, and the platform's complexity created challenges for readiness. The Mi-35 excelled in open conflict scenarios that Brazil does not face, while offering fewer advantages in the missions that Brazil conducts daily. The lesson was clear. A powerful system that is seldom available, expensive to keep flying, and mismatched with operational demands does not translate into real-world strength. Brazil's geography, with the Amazon basin, vast borders, dense urban areas, and diverse security tasks, requires a fleet that can fly often, reach remote areas, and adapt to a wide set of missions. The Mi-35 was a machine designed for a different type of war and a different type of state. Its retirement was not a retreat from capability, but a recognition that power must be usable to be meaningful. The shift toward the UH-60L Black Hawk reflects this logic. Brazil has chosen to expand its fleet by acquiring additional UH-60L aircraft and modernizing its existing units with a new G5000H digital cockpit. This decision builds a force that is reliable, versatile, and easier to sustain in the long run. The Black Hawk is capable of transporting troops, supporting special operations, conducting search and rescue missions, assisting medical evacuations, and operating in challenging environments such as the Amazon. More importantly, it has proven global availability of spare parts, well-established maintenance support, and a long operational history that reduces uncertainties. By standardizing around a common platform, Brazil improves training efficiency, simplifies logistics, and strengthens overall air mobility. In regional terms, this also positions Brazil as the operator of one of the most capable Black Hawk fleets in Latin America, reinforcing its leadership role at a time when neighboring countries face internal security challenges, natural disasters, and growing demands for air mobility. Complementing the Black Hawk is the introduction of the H-145M, a light, modern, and highly flexible helicopter that fits perfectly into Brazil's emerging airpower philosophy. The H-145M offers a low operating cost, excellent maneuverability, and the ability to perform a range of missions from urban security support to medical evacuation, border patrol, and light attack roles. It fills the space where the Mi-35 was overdesigned and where the Black Hawk is larger than necessary. This pairing of medium and light helicopters creates a balanced force structure capable of responding to Brazil's varied mission sets without overextending budgets or maintenance resources. Instead of relying on a single heavy platform, Brazil now fields a modular architecture built for agility and sustainability. This reflects a deeper transformation. The realization that modern security challenges demand adaptability more than theatrics. Understanding this shift requires understanding Brazil's operational environment. The Amazon alone represents a mission category unlike any in the world. Aircraft must operate in extreme humidity, long distances, and areas with limited infrastructure. Search and rescue missions, environmental patrols, and support to indigenous communities require availability and endurance far more than heavy weapons. Along urban coastlines, the security challenges posed by organized crime also demand rapid deployment and precise support rather than overwhelming firepower. In border regions, helicopters must respond to smuggling operations, illegal mining, human trafficking, and other transnational activities. Even humanitarian tasks, from flood response to wildfire support, place enormous demand on a helicopter fleet. None of these missions justify the logistical burden of a heavy attack helicopter, while all of them benefit from reliable, flexible, multi-role aircraft that can take off every day. Brazil's transition therefore reflects a mature reassessment of what national power actually requires. Public perception in Brazil mirrors this practical mindset. There has been no significant backlash against the retirement of the Mi-35, nor against the investment in the UH-60L and H-145M. Brazilians tend to support defense spending when it is clearly tied to public safety, disaster relief, regional stability, and national sovereignty. The new helicopter mix appeals directly to these expectations. Rather than focusing on prestige systems meant for interstate conflict, Brazil has selected platforms that support communities and address real threats. This alignment between strategic need and public sentiment strengthens confidence in the modernization program. Brazilians see helicopters as tools that save lives, protect the Amazon, assist police operations, and respond to emergencies. Equipment that fulfills these functions is naturally accepted, even appreciated. The regional impact of Brazil's modernization is significant as well. As the largest military force in South America, Brazil shapes expectations for air mobility across the continent. A modernized fleet of UH-60L and H-145M helicopters enhances the country's ability to support multinational exercises, contribute to disaster relief operations, and strengthen defense cooperation in the Southern Cone and the Amazon Basin. Looking toward the period from 2030 to 2035, Brazil is positioned to become a regional center for helicopter training, maintenance, and operational integration. The new fleet will not only support domestic missions, but also expand Brazil's diplomatic and security influence across Latin America. There is also a meaningful industrial dimension. Modernization contracts allow Brazilian technicians, engineers, and maintenance teams to build new competencies in avionics, integration, and fleet sustainment. partnerships with the United States and Europe provide opportunities for technology transfer and long-term industrial cooperation. As Brazil continues to cultivate its defense industry, these helicopters serve as both operational assets and catalysts for local capability development. This contributes to a broader national objective, achieving strategic autonomy not through isolation, but through intelligent cooperation. Taken together, the transition from Mi-35 to the UH-60L and H-145M is not simply a shift in platforms, it is a shift in identity. Brazil is shaping a military force that reflects its priorities, its geography, and its vision of responsible influence in Latin America. The move toward practical, sustainable air power is consistent with a nation that seeks stability, resilience, and long-term growth rather than symbolic displays of power. It is a reminder that true strength lies not in owning the heaviest equipment, but in owning the equipment that works when it is needed most. As Brazil continues this path, the country is building one of the most capable and balanced helicopter fleets in the region. It is a force optimized for mission effectiveness, national development, and regional leadership. For viewers who follow the evolution of Brazil's defense posture, this transformation marks an important chapter in the country's rise as a modern, confident, and strategically minded power. If you find this type of analysis useful and want to accompany the long-term progress of Brazil's defense transformation, consider subscribing and staying with the channel as we continue following Brazil's journey into the next decade.